Today we are reading from the 5th chapter, At Ease, all about how Pramukh Swami was always at ease. Let's see if there's anything for us to learn about how we can be at ease as well. During his travels in Europe in 1994, Swamishri visited the Czech Republic for a special and specific reason. A story that Ishwar Charandas Swami has shared with me many times. And good night, brave Bella. Your bravery shall be remembered. I too found myself in the Czech Republic on my 37th birthday. As a watch connoisseur, but not a collector, the ancient Prague astronomical clock in the capital city of the Czech Republic was the perfect backdrop for my birthday. The clock, attached to the old town hall and facing one of the largest squares in the city, is the oldest working astronomical clock in the world. A skeleton representing death strikes the time every hour on the hour to show the permanence of its passing. I admired it from a distance and watched its hands move gracefully with a definitive audacity, signaling each passing second never to return. It was my first trip to Europe after the COVID-19 pandemic froze society. I thought it was the perfect way to ring in my birthday, to celebrate the passing of yet another year at midnight by watching the strike of death by myself. I recalled memories of Swamishri while I waited for the clock to strike. I thought of all the summer birthdays I had spent traveling with my guru during school and college vacations, and all of the lessons he had taught me. My mind was wandering to my guru's visit to Prague in 1994. Swamishri stood in front of this very clock and calmly waited for the clock to strike the top of the hour. Professor Jaroslav Frick was an internationally acclaimed multimedia expert who helped create the multi-screen, audiovisual show for the Swaminarayan Akshardham, Gandhinagar in 1992. He had developed a close relationship with Swamishri and many of the sadhus, the monks who worked with him to complete the project. Like Han Kop and Jeanette in the Netherlands, Professor Frick wanted his guru and friend to visit him in the Czech Republic. He had been asking Swamishri for several years. Swamishri flew to Prague while he was in London. Professor Frick wanted to show Swamishri and the sadhus the entire city. He was also keen on the city and its people seeing his guru. Besides, Prague had never seen sadhus of the Swaminarayan monastic order. This moment would create a cultural bridge and raise awareness for the people of Prague. He had organized a special tour bus to take the sadhus and Swamishri around the city on a special boat ride in the... this is a difficult name. And on a special boat ride in the Vltava, Vltava, Vltava River. The purpose of Swamishri's trip was to give Professor Frick the anand, the bliss, of treating him and the sadhus, and Swamishri embraced this different flavor of bhakti. Swamishri obliged all of Professor Frick's requests, even when he was indifferent to touring the city. Swamishri and the professor laughed and joked throughout the trip about Swamishri's English and the professor's Gujarati. Professor Frick asked Swamishri to initiate him as a sadhu and name him Frick Ananda Swami. Swamishri chuckled and said, "Well, you live like a sadhu, and you are always in anand, bliss. You are already that without the monastic initiation." The sadhus and Professor Frick laughed at Swamishri's quip. At the airport, Swamishri and the professor embraced each other in a bear hug, as if two brothers were parting ways. Swamishri shared his bliss with Professor Frick, and in return, the professor submitted to his guru's injunction to progress on the spiritual path, one step at a time. Swamishri's Sahajanand, his organic bliss, at times was direct. He had a sharp sense of humor, and in true comedic fashion, he could deliver a punchline without laughing himself. That's difficult sometimes. For this book, I collected hundreds of interactions with Swamishri that exhibited his sense of humor. Unfortunately, not all of them translate well into English and into a non-Gujarati cultural context. From those stories, however, sprang forth the range of Swamishri's humor. With the sadhus and younger bhaktas, the monks and younger devotees, he laughed in a way that a guardian would with their children. With the elder bhaktas, he fulfilled the role of a patient son who gently teased. Though he could land a perfectly timed punchline while delivering his own jokes, he was quick to laugh at other jokes also. Swamishri had a laugh that could fill the room. It was soft and high-pitched, and at once full and deep. On many occasions, once Swamishri started laughing, he continued until tears fell from the corners of his eyes. Unable to speak or respond at times, Swamishri covered his face and wiped his eyes with his upper garment while trying to catch his breath. When the laughing built up to a crescendo, Swamishri held his stomach. It truly was the sign of childlike innocence, with a hint of divinity, reflecting a sense of otherworldliness. It was the simple things that make Swamishri laugh, and that Swamishri used to make others laugh. Swamishri had two rules when it came to humor. First, he never bullied or degraded anyone. Second, he always jested within the bounds of his sadhu maryada, discipline. On the off chance that someone attempted to make a joke that was disrespectful, Swamishri stopped it and used it as an instructive moment to teach respect and kindness. He was particularly upset by jokes of the traditional sense that picked on a certain class or gender. He would immediately interrupt the performer and change the topic. He has explained on such occasions that we are the Atman, the true self. Someone's physical disabilities, their class, or their gender are not reasons to ridicule or even joke about them. Are, listen, let's read something about God and Guru, about the divine and spiritual teachers. It wasn't so much that Swamishri was funny as much as it was that Swamishri was able to experience the fun and joy in everything around him. Swamishri's ability to experience bliss everywhere was a reminder that the divine pervaded all, and that his joy was within us all. Swamishri actualized that joy and made it accessible to those around him. Thank you for listening. We'll pause our reading of In Love at Ease there for now.